to the show. With Thanksgiving and impeachment just around the corner, maybe we should spend some quality time with our impending first family. It's time to meet the Pences.
An American household bursting with life,
which starts at conception according to Mike.
An American marriage, but not one that's gay.
A man and a woman, that's the only way. They're just your average lovers, just a husband and his mother. They belong to each other and to Trump.
Mike Pence was born in 1959 in a small town in Indiana. State motto, "We're not the South, so why are we like this?" Pence was born as he would live, round-faced and unsettlingly ambitious.
60-some people, and including the editor of the newspaper in his hometown, who said to me, Mike Pence popped out of his mother's womb wanting to be president.
He also undoubtedly popped out of the womb furious that his mother had had sex. Pence was raised a Democrat, but as a young man, he couldn't help thinking he was in some way different.
When I was a teenager, I was active in Democrat politics, and then I started hearing the voice of that former California governor who articulated an agenda of principles of less government, less taxes, traditional values, and a strong military, and I was drawn to the Republican Party.
Yes, he initially assumed he was a Democrat, but then he met a guy who stirred something that had always been inside him, and when he realized he was drawn to Republicans rather than Democrats, he came out proudly. He was born this way, goddammit! The other person who changed his life is his wife, Karen. Just 9 months after meeting her, Mike proposed by hiding a ring box in a hollowed-out loaf of bread. Karen accepted his proposal by handing him a gold cross with the word yes that she had specifically made for the occasion, which also comes in handy whenever she meets a vampire who wants to do improv. The newly engaged couple then shellacked the loaf, which I assume is a euphemism for a Republican handjob. I don't really know the lingo. Now, normally, we wouldn't cover a political spouse in this much detail because they're often just innocent bystanders in their partner's careers or even innocent body doubles. But Mike Pence is said to consult Karen on just about every decision he makes, and even his supporters say she's a force behind his political stances. I'm sorry, what were those again?
He has tried to establish a policy in Indiana where Indiana would deny Syrian refugees from entering the state.
He said AIDS funding should be taken away from serving people with HIV and AIDS because instead it should be diverted into government-funded programs designed to cure people from being gay.
Federal courts have struck down 2 of Pence's key initiatives, including a provision that mandated funerary services for aborted fetuses.
So, fuck them both, but like in a wholesome, heterosexual, for the purposes of reproduction only way.
Apparently, he won't go out to dinner with a woman, we've heard, unless his wife Karen is with him too. And he won't attend any event where booze is served without her either.
She preferred not to talk about reaction to her husband's personal and strict policies to protect their marriage.
I don't presume to tell anybody how to run their marriage, because every marriage is different.
Yes, what 2 consenting adults do in their marriage or decide other people can't do in their marriage is nobody's business but Mike and Karen Pence's. The Pences appear to be the perfect conservative couple. Even Pat Robertson can barely keep from popping a boner for how boring they are.
Losing 2 congressional races provided him exposure on radio.
It was kind of Rush Limbaugh on decaf.
Mike Pence, what an attractive individual. Handsome, articulate, intelligent. I mean, it's just a nice package.
Whoa! Save it for the 700 Club after dark. Karen Pence is the perfect political spouse. She knows just how to handle tough questions from the biased news media.
Is the governor a dog man or a cat man?
I can't say. I've been told never to choose anything now that we're in this office.
You have? Wow, I guess she's anti-choice in every single aspect of her life. But Karen Pence did choose to become an entrepreneur.
Indiana's First Lady just started her own business called That's My Towel Charm.
Someone took my towel, and I thought, you know, they all match, so you always think, you know, you don't know which one is yours and you don't want to use someone else's. And I thought there's got to be a way to identify your towel. I put these on my kids' towels so that I know my son is not using my towel.
Mom, did you have to start a whole towel charm business because I jade off into your towel that one time? You know what? To be honest, every time I use a towel, I do say, this is great, but I wish it were sharper. There's just no risk of anything tearing my nipples off. No risk, no reward. Meanwhile, when Mike Pence wasn't busy suppressing the rights of women and gay people, he was diligently fighting for the issues that mattered most.
I rise today for the awesome and important duty to pay a happy birthday wish to Garfield. Not President Garfield, but someone probably more famous in this day and age than that.
And if you listen closely to the way Pence talks about Garfield, you can hear parallels that may explain why he's so fond of his heathen master, our president.
A large, orange, slovenly, lazy cat. Garfield loves TV and he hates Mondays. He'd rather pig out than work out. In fact, his passion for food and sleep is matched only by his aversion to diet and exercise.
Donald Trump is basically Garfield. Just change the word Mondays to Mexicans and they're exactly the same. Now, I know it might seem like I'm shaming the Pences for their godly marriage, but I'm not. I think it's weird as all hell, but I also think married people should be able to do whatever weird as hell things make them happy, and they seem really happy. I just wish they'd extend the same courtesy to gay people, trans people, women, and all of us out there who seem as weird to them as they do to us.
He calls her mother.
Oh my God, they really are freaks. We'll be right back.